Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a surprise! We watch Shudder. My name is JD, and who's here with me?
It's Michelle.
Michelle, let me ask you right off the bat here. What percentage of you is here with me right now?
I don't even know, man. Like 10. I wish it was 100.
Oh, this could be
The other
rough.
90% of me is astral projecting into another plane. So very exciting things are happening to the other portion of me. And I feel like I will be able to bring the energy back from the interdimensional fight that the 90% of me is involved in. And the 10% here is very sleepy, but very much ready for battle, sir.
Let me give you a peek behind the curtain here, guys. This episode, literally what is happening tonight is we're recording 2 episodes and releasing them both. And we recorded our review of Brooklyn 45, got that done and edited and uploaded just in time to go live. It went live about 20 minutes ago. And now we're recording this bonus episode of We Watch Shudder, going way deep into the night. I say way deep. It's 20 after 12. It's barely past midnight. I'm such an old man. Oh, my God.
I'm still young at heart.
But we are,
I'm just cranky.
Shit could get weird here, guys, but that's good because this is a bonus episode. You guys know we love Shudder. That's why we started the show. That's why it's called We Watch Shudder. But we also, that comes from being just huge fans of horror movies in general. And sometimes we watch movies that are not on Shudder. Every now and then, we like to take... I know, right? What a sin.
Don't tell Shudder.
Oh, my God.
Not that we're sponsored by them. Shudder.
No, wait. Are we sponsored by them now? Did you not tell me something, Michelle?
No, we're not. And that's why I'm saying that we can watch movies.
Oh, so nothing changed in the last 20 minutes? Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with Mr. Shudder Executive. That is his name. And I said, Mr. Shudder Executive, can I please have Shudder for free, given that we're asking people to sign up for your service? And then he was like, hell yeah, love the last episode. Ciao, bitch. And I was like, that wasn't very professional, but thank you.
He loved the last episode that was just released 20 minutes ago, and he no way in hell could have had time to listen to already?
He listened to it on 5 times speed.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Anyway, guys, so we're here with a special bonus episode of what's the name of the show? Oh, Jesus, we're already... this is going to be a good one. This is a bonus episode of We Watch Shudder, talking about a movie. We talk about special requests every now and then. We talk about, if there's something you want us to check out. This wasn't exactly a special request. It was a movie that a friend of mine told me about. And I had seen it. It's available to watch on Tubi, by the way, if you know the Tubi streaming service. It's ad-supported, but it's free. So you can go check it out. But I had seen the image for this movie while scrolling through all the available titles a few times. Read the description. I was like, I was curious about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was really kind of 50-50, right? I was like, man, based on the little bit of information I got here, this could go either way. But a buddy of mine was telling me about it, and I watched it. And in a rare moment, Michelle and I like to not talk about our thoughts on these movies before we sit down to record them. But I personally really fucking loved this movie. I'm just going to get that right out of the way. That's why we're, to the extent that I reached out to Michelle and I was like, Michelle, I want to talk about this movie. You need to go watch it. And I'm very nervous about how Michelle's reaction to this movie is going to be. I've really put my ass on the line here because I loved this movie. It was so much fun. A horror comedy, and it's called I Had a Bloody Good Time at House Harker. That is a long-ass title. That is a long-ass introduction. But that's what we're talking about today. Let me just get right to it. Michelle.
Yeah.
Hit me with your spoiler-free thoughts on I Had a Bloody Good Time at House Harker.
I am nervous to give you my spoiler-free thoughts because I know how much you like this movie. I mean this in the nicest way possible. This was very stupid. However, I love stupid. Stupid is my favorite. From the first minute, I was very worried that this is going to be a terrible, terrible vampire movie. But then, no, it's just some people making a terrible, terrible vampire movie. And, it tickled my fancy. I thought it was fun slapstick humor. I was trying to think of how I could classify it because I really enjoy bad horror that is deliberately bad, like Llamageddon and Carousel. But this isn't bad horror. It's just a low budget horror. It's really funny. It's
here's
really
what
well
I would
made.
say to people. This is a much more indie, low-budget vampire movie in the same tone and world as like a Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's silly. It's fun. It is dumb. Like you said, I don't think the folks who made this movie are gonna take that as an insult in any way because it's dumb as dicks, but it's so fun. It's so much fun. I had a blast with this movie. It's ridiculous.
I had a bloody good time with it.
I had a bloody good time with House Harker. How about from a skull rating perspective, Michelle? How many skulls on this one?
We're going to go 4. And I do need to
That's
also
exactly
say that
where I was going to land,
Really?
was on a 4, right?
perfect.
This is
A nice solid number. 3.75 felt too low. And the thing is, low budget, but it's clearly made by people with talent. The editing is so good in this movie. And the acting is hilarious.
Yeah.
And the script's silly. I mean, obviously, yeah, I think a 4 is a reasonable amount. I do need to say that the night before I watched I Had a Bloody Good Time at House Harker, I did watch Evil Dead 2 and Army of the Darkness for the first time.
Both of
those.
Stop.
Yep.
What are those
You had a
two
question?
movies called?
Evil Dead, Army of Darkness?
Okay, you said it right
Evil
that
Dead
time.
2? What
You
did I
said
say the
Army-
first time?
You said Army of the Darkness, and I was furious.
I told you, 90%
how-
of me is fighting an intergalactic battle. I am not fully here. I'm too busy battling
of
this
the
giant squid. Yeah,
Dude, I love
sorry.
that. This is a good look. We're gonna tangent for a minute, as long as
Yeah.
we're here, though. I do
I
believe
know.
that. Like, it's so like Army of Darkness is like that title works. Army of the Darkness just sounds stupid as fuck, and it's so weird how just adding that one article in there that's barely a word completely ruins that fucking title.
I
And that's how
had
much of
a
a nerd
bloody
I am
good
for
time
words, you
at
guys.
the House Harker. It doesn't work for that title. But yeah, anyway, I've been in a like slapstick comedy mood because I saw those for the first time. I had never seen them. I'm terrible. I know. This podcast is making me watch the classics because people keep asking me questions about the
No.
classics, and I go, I don't know.
No,
But
Michelle, as we learned in our most recently recorded episode about Brooklyn 45, just because you maybe had done some terrible things in the past doesn't mean you can't be a good person today.
I'm trying to right my wrongs. But yeah, anyway, this movie, obviously you can't say like, oh my God, it's like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, Army of the Darkness. But at the same time, it's kind of that same type of humor, especially
it's
Army
silly.
of Darkness. It was silly and I enjoyed it and I
Yeah.
giggled a whole bunch.
Yeah, it's a splattery good time. Lots of arterial spray. Like, I guess if you want to get super, super technical, it is a very bloody movie, but it is not remotely bloody in a way that will bother any but the most very, very squeamish, can't even see blood in any context people. There are, in fact, some moments involving blood in this movie that are so funny. But no, I
Should we
agree.
get into spoiler section? We can really delve into that.
Yeah. So if you want to check out the movie, like I said, it's available on Tubi. That's Tubi.
Prime.
If you don't know, is it on Prime?
It is on Prime. I
It's
watched
on
it
Prime.
on Prime.
Well, if you have Prime, then you can go watch it without no damn commercials.
If you don't have Prime, even if you do have Prime, you can watch it on Tubi, and then it has commercials, but sometimes you have an ad blocker and the commercials
Right.
don't always play. But you do turn off your ad blocker sometimes because you do want to support independent filmmakers like
Also-
myself. Yeah.
Bonus, the movie is only 1 hour and 19 minutes long. Yay!
After you get done watching, I had a bloody good time at House Harker on Tubi. You can go check out a little flick called Karis Hell, which it is my goal to make sure everyone in the world has seen Karis Hell, which is about a carousel
You
horse who breaks free and goes on a murdering spree.
Man, Michelle, you gotta stop bringing that movie up. I haven't forgiven you for making me watch that thing.
Only made it 20 minutes into Karis Hell 2, but I did watch all of Karis Hell 1, and it was
look,
great.
I will say this. If you love deep, schlock, campy, ridiculous shit, Karis Hell is for you, but I still haven't decided if it is or isn't a bridge too far for me. But that's not what we're here to talk about, Michelle. We're talking about I had a bloody good time at House Harker. If you want to go watch the movie, I suggest you do that. Go watch the movie. Push the pause button on this here. Make sure you come back when you're done and listen to the rest of the episode. We're not done here. But go ahead and pause that button right about now. All right, did you guys come back? I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like 20% here now. One of the battles,
Woohoo.
it's over. Everybody's getting some nice R&R after it. So 10% more of me was able to come. But 30% of me died in one of the dimensions. And I don't know what that means for the rest of my future here in this dimension. So I am going to have to sort that out after we get done.
Yeah, we should probably start talking about the movie then, huh?
20% of me agrees, 30% of me is dead. So I guess that's like a pretty good percentage for the part that's remaining.
Fair enough. So normally, guys, when we get to this section, for anybody who might be listening who didn't watch the movie but would like to at least be able to have some context for what's going on, we would have Michelle summarize the plot of the movie for you. But I'm going to try and do it tonight on this here bonus episode. Why? Oh, I don't know. Why not? How come?
Because we do what we want.
Why can't?
Do what we want.
Why can't I do the summary every now and then, guys? I don't. Well, let's find out. Let's find out. So, I had a bloody good time at House Harker. First of all, I am going to say right off the top, a good 60 to 65% of what kept this movie on my maybe pile for so long is that title. I was like, that is a mouth. Couldn't we have just called this House Harker? What does that even mean? And of course, you figure out immediately right away from the get-go that it's actually the slogan of one of those goofy-ass tourist attraction T-shirts. And because House Harker is where this movie takes place. If that name Harker is familiar to you, that's because it is about the descendants of Jonathan and Mina Harker from the Dracula story. You read that one, Dracula, Michelle?
Did I read the Dracula story?
Yeah, did you read
Like
that
the
Dracula book? Yeah.
No.
What was that guy's name?
Books?
Bram?
Oh, Bram Stoker. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Okay, you just unlocked a memory that I had forgotten. I did rent and then not rent. I did take that movie from the college. Take the book from the college library. Meant to return it, never returned it. I do have a copy of Dracula in my house, and I should probably read it. I never gave it back to the library, and I just remembered that. I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
MSUM, I'm so sorry.
So the basic plot here is after they defeated Dracula, Jonathan and Mina Harker came to America, but some vampires followed them, and they had to fight them there, and apparently they thought they were defeated, and then they've descended down through the years, and now this movie is about three descendants of Jonathan and Mina Harker named Jerry and Charlie and Paige, and they still live in the family house, and Jerry and Charlie and their friend Ned are trying to put together this house as like a tourist attraction with a cool stage show telling the story of how they killed the vampires in America. And because they owe the city a bunch of money for they were supposed to spend to repair the house, and instead they spent trying to develop this goofy ass show. And then they have to come up with this money, or they're gonna lose the house in like 3 days. And then somewhere in there, vampires are actually real now, and they end up getting caught up in this weird sort of there's like a necrophiliac murderer, and then vampires are real, and it's this big crazy thing where they end up having to save the town. And it's this is a lot harder than I have ever given Michelle credit for when she does these things. But they end up having fun adventures, and there's some emotional family stuff in there. That's a good time. There's some really fucking great references in this that I enjoyed. One costume reference in particular that we'll talk about in a minute. But that's basically the story. They save the world from the vampires, and everything is cool. How did I do, Michelle? How did I do?
Good. You did fine.
Yeah.
It's just very, very difficult to try to sum up an hour and a half in a very quick but entertaining way. And sometimes you start and then you're like, I'm only 10 minutes into this movie. I have to sum up the rest quicker. I want to start with a question, JD.
Okay.
And just like you do, I am asking a question because I have an answer to it.
Of course. That's the only reason to ask a question.
Of course. Why would you ever ask a question unless you just want to take some time to talk?
I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I just need you to believe I give a fuck about your opinion, so you listen to mine.
I do give a fuck about your opinion, though, because I'm curious.
Do you?
What was the funniest part of this movie for you?
The funniest part of this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's honestly... I think the funniest part of this movie was the vampires popping at like water balloons after you stake them. I thought that was just fun because I love splattery shit, and just there was something about that just made me fucking giggle every time.
Now you ask me.
Oh, right. So what do you think was the funniest part of this movie, Michelle?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, JD. Thank you. Second place would definitely be the wood carving.
Oh, it was fucking great. It's just,
oh my God.
This honestly, in all other aspects, a very respectful wood carving of a woman. And then just these gargantuan tree trunk tits. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. And number one, I could not get enough of it when the vampire is stuck on the other side of the door with the window, and he just keeps holding a cross back into him, and the vampire just keeps going. Oh my God, I could not get enough. I wish this movie had just been an hour and 19 minutes of that. I would have just giggled the whole time about it.
This was,
oh God, it was so funny.
So you have the three, like I said, the three descendants of House Harker. You have Jerry, and Paige, and Jerry is like, he was an aspiring actor, and that didn't really play out for him. He had one movie role where it was supposed to be, what does he say? It was supposed to be the not Simon Birch, but it was the Jerry Maguire of baton twirling movies or something. I don't remember.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I do want to say very quickly that these are very multidimensional characters, and that they all have various hobbies. Not only are they employed in whatever they do to make an income, but they're also trying to make it in the movie industry and special effects and all that good stuff. But then one guy is into wood carvings and makes enough to supply the store with them, even though they do wind up putting them all in a wood chipper, which was very sad. And then another one took up baton twirling, which I feel is very admirable.
Well, he learned baton twirling for that movie that he was in.
I'm aware,
that his career stalled.
But he still had to learn, and then we see it later. And let me just say, anybody with a hip wiggling baton twirling is gonna get a high score from me. That was a pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the little baton twirling.
Yeah,
Nice. It was very much the Jerry Maguire of the
for
time.
sure. And then Paige is she's the town pretty girl, and she's cool, and everybody likes her, and she's nice, but she's also tough as nails, and spends a lot of time standing up for their older brother Charlie, who is I think they never come right out and say it, but I think the intention is that Charlie is supposed to be on the autism spectrum. And then other people are very mean to him about that in some very derogatory ways. I should have warned people earlier. I'm going to go back and put something in there. There are some words in here that are a little uncomfortable. But they're always spoken by the awful people in the movie, and it's made very clear that those are not things you're supposed to say. Also, there's a moment here where Paige almost says it, where this movie actually, it not just funny, but gets into some genuinely solid, kind of touching family drama kind of moments, right? It never goes too off the deep end there. But this is, as much as it's a fun, splashy, slapstick kind of horror comedy movie, there is a little bit of heart here, and I really enjoyed that element of it as well.
You know a lot more about, I don't want to say horror history, but like those classic icons. You said there were a lot of very good Easter eggs in this, and I would like to hear what some of those are, because I'm sure you picked up way more than I did.
Yeah, I guess I don't know that necessarily even in horror history specifically, but the two things in particular that come to mind. One of them, I told you before we started recording, I asked you rather if you had ever seen a film from 1990 called Spaced Invaders, which you have not seen. I expect you to have corrected that by the next time I speak to you.
Yeah, I found it.
But the reason I bring it up is it was a I don't even know if it was a successful movie at the time, but it's one of those movies where I saw it at just the right age that it really impacted me, and now I can go back and watch it as an adult, and I still fucking love it. It's the same sort of thing. It's dumb as dicks, right? 4 little alien dudes come to Earth into a small town, and chaos ensues. But at the end of this movie, I was just like, what the fuck? When they all get ready to go out and fight the vampires and they put their gear on, Charlie has that long sort of black, almost like a trench coat or a jumpsuit, like a mechanic's suit, and those goggles and that weird kind of hat/head wrap thing that he's wearing. That is, note for note, a replica of a costume or a reference to a costume from Spaced Invaders. I'm not going to tell you anything about it because it would spoil parts of the movie, but there's a character in the movie who for most of the movie looks exactly like that dude, and I sat there the whole time just thinking to myself, I don't even know how many people who see this movie are going to know that that's a Spaced Invaders reference, but I fucking loved it. I thought it was so great. But I mean, you can't appreciate it. You've never seen that movie. You have no culture in your life.
But I will.
Wow, I got really brutal there for a minute. I'm sorry.
No, I'm the worst. I know this. I will be watching that this week for sure.
The other thing that jumped out at me is I'm less certain on this, but it just feels. Have you ever seen? Obviously, I mentioned Shaun of the Dead. There as kind of a tone standpoint, ridiculous, but still, has some splattery stuff and has some heart involved there. Have you ever seen another Edgar Wright film starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost called The World's End?
Yes, I saw it in theaters.
Excellent. So here's why I bring it up. I am absolutely certain that the entire look of Ned's Wood fame at the end of this movie when he's wearing that coat and everything. It's a little bit more advanced and involved, but I am convinced that his entire overall look is an homage to Simon Pegg as Gary King in The World's End. I don't know. That's just the feeling I had. And I thought, just based on how this movie exists in the same tonal place, I don't know. I feel like that was something that was going on here. But no, I don't know that it was
obscure reference.
What?
I caught one.
Tell me.
The really obscure reference I saw that I don't know if you caught this, but the woman who is an author writing books about sparkly vampires.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a little known movie and book called Twilight. It came out quite a while ago. You might not have heard about it, but the thing is, teenagers loved it, and the vampires in the movie, it was played by Pattinson, who has actually gone on to be Batman now. I don't know if you've ever
Robert
heard of
Pattinson.
Batman.
Didn't he just die earlier this week, the 700 Club guy?
Yes, that is the sparkly vampire that I am referencing, who went on to play Batman. But I don't know if you've ever heard of
Pat
Batman.
Robertson. I don't.
But
Hey, look, we're going deep in the bonus episode. Fuck Pat Robertson. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, that was a Twilight reference. I don't know if you knew that, but that's a movie I've seen. That is
one of my
maybe not everybody
favorite
has.
gore moments in the movie is when that. I mean, her name isn't Stephanie Meyer, but it's SM something. But when the big master vampire fucking punches her skull out of her head. It's fucking just the dumbest thing, but it was so great. There are awesome little moments of when the necro killer or whatever breaks into their place and tries to rob them and fucking catches that knife in the neck. That was actually a thing that I enjoyed about this. There are several moments in this movie where they have this sort of thing going on where they're showing you Charlie putting together things in his head before it actually happens, and I really enjoyed that, especially in the build-up to at the very end when he kills the big bad, because it goes back and ties in so many little moments from throughout the entire movie. And I just, I had such a good time with this. I laughed a lot. It's silly and ridiculous and fun, and I just, it was silly and ridiculous and fun, though, in a way that I was like, there's a chance Michelle could hate this. And I was almost kind of hoping it would have gone that way so that you and I could have had a real knockdown drag out here. But
I know.
No.
I knew that you liked it, so I was kind of hoping I would hate it too. And at the start, it is very, very hokey on purpose. And I was like, no, JD, you better not.
The movie knows its limits, right? So it's not.
But I meant like the actual in the past scenes that they're recreating, where I'm just like, no, you're going to make me watch this. Oh, no. And then it's not that. It's just fun editing. And
I had that same experience. I was like, I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? And then it drops into that narration, and they cut to the goofiness going on in the house. I did love the idea that because like the house was specifically built with crosses all around it, and it's basically like a giant vampire trap. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was something I'd never seen before in a vampire movie, and especially for a movie that is just going for more of a horror comedy kind of thing. I think to have something inventive, and also I can't get enough of the popping vampires. The popping vampires are just fucking. And especially at the end when the big bad falls on the pencil and they're all getting ready for it, and it's just like. It's like fucking nothing. Oh God.
I know that we keep comparing this movie to other bigger movies, just because it's very niche. But this is also why I love movies like Scare Package and Scare Package 2, because it's clearly a movie made by people who know horror for other people who like horror. Because all of those little things that you mentioned that you caught, I definitely did not catch them, but I will be watching Spaced Invaders this week, I'm sure. But just all those little things and all the little like tropes that they worked into here about vampires. It was really fun.
I loved the chainsaw loaded with mistakes that actually ends up fucking working. That was fucking great. I love that.
I like the neighbor with the angry wife.
Yes.
Like the angry wife.
And it's the fact that she was so angry and bitter that made him fall in love with her. And it also turns out he was an exorcist for a lot of years and just gets to spend several moments in the movie just getting splattered with green pea goop. Yeah. It's great. This was good enough and fun enough that I immediately looked into finding out like what else some of these people have done. It turns out, not surprisingly, really, when you look back at the movie, the people who made this movie are actually they've worked together on a number of things. There's the guy, I think his name is Clayton Cogswell, is their group director, and then the 3 stars and I had the page right in front of me with their names, and now I just totally lost it. But you saw the splash thing at the beginning of this movie, Good Cops Entertainment. They have a YouTube channel called Good Cops TV, and Good Cops is a YouTube TV show that apparently there are 4 seasons of. Definitely gonna check this out. And they also made a YouTube miniseries called Tumbleweeds. But no, I just had fun with the movie. I thought, and when it turned out that the title was just that cheesy T-shirt slogan, I was like, man, if I had known that, I would have gotten to this one a whole lot sooner.
Clayton Cogswell, the director of this film and writer. There's a lot.
No, he's just the director, and then he's one of the
listed as writer.
Yeah, they kind of write as a group, is what I was getting at. He's one of the writers. Yeah.
Yes. So Clayton Cogswell, I went to their page to see what's up, and I'm definitely going to have to watch High School Musical, the series, the special.
I knew you would.
Only 23 minutes, so I feel like Clayton Cogswell gets me. So I am going to have to check that out. I'm excited. Yeah, we're all in this together.
For sure. So, guys, if you like just a good, loosey-goosey, fun, also, again, 79 minutes, real quick, easy, fun watch. This is definitely
if you're
worth.
Less than 90 minutes, you're always going to get a recommendation from JD.
Not always.
Somebody should check out your
Not
movie.
Always. But
there is one exception to this.
It's a good, strong point. Well, there's one exception on this show. There are a whole lot more exceptions in real life. But
we don't need to name them. It's like Voldemort. It's better if you don't give them power.
But seriously, guys, we like to talk about movies here. If you have any recommendations that you want us to take a look at, hit us up. We watch Shudder on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. WeWatchShutter.com. Email is mail@WeWatchShutter.com.
And that's MAIL. It's not JD just being like, everybody needs to know a man is part of this. MAILE.
Dude shit. The new email address is dudeshit@WeWatchShutter.com.
I wish our email address was dudeshit@WeWatchShutter.com.
I mean, we could very easily make that happen. We could have dude shit.
I mean, it's not like we're emailing with people, so I kind of like the idea of changing it to dude shit.
That'd be pretty great.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say a reason we decided to drop a bonus episode is because yesterday's episode came out a day late. So we just wanted to give you guys a nice little treat as a we're sorry, please like us still kind of thing. And we had a bloody good time at House Harker.
We did.
I was looking forward to scaring JD that I would not like this, and we do record on a webcam, so I did watch him get very defeated when I started.
When you started out with that very direct, I think this is dumb kind of thing, I got real upset. For a moment, I was like, oh, this is not going to go well, but I'm glad it turned around.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt about this movie, where I was like, this is not going to go well. Oh, never mind. This movie and I get each other. We're good. Clayton Cogswell, you are my, I don't know, not like a muse. Whatever that would be. Who cares?
You'll
60% of me is now dead in the other universe.
Here's what I do expect, Michelle. I do expect you to watch High School Musical, the musical, and write up a short Ghoul blog review of the High School, the musical, or whatever it is, to put on the Ghoul blog.
I already Googled it, and I can't find it, though.
Maybe. Well, try harder. I don't know what to tell you, Michelle.
I am an expert Googler. I will try to.
Michelle,
find
you
it, I
found a
promise.
group of people who, as a thing they do, find movies that don't have subtitles and create subtitles for them for people who need those subtitles, but they aren't available to. I'm pretty sure you can find a way to watch High School, the musical, the musical, the musical.
No, High School Musical, the musical, the series, the special. God, get it right.
Whatever.
I have figured out how to say I had a bloody good time at House Harker. You can figure out how to say High School Musical, the series, the special.
No, I can't.
So we're all in this together, JD.
We are all in
Get
this
your head
together.
in the game.
I gotta get this. What I gotta
do.
do is I gotta get this edited and put up on the website because it's almost 1:00 in the morning and I need to go to bed. Say good night, Michelle.
Yeah. Good night, Michelle.